Okay, so you have a girlfriend, but I don't, and the Switch 2 is coming out, and it got the whole world thinking. Can you use a Switch 2 to get a girlfriend?
For me, gut reaction is yes.
Yeah?
I think there's a lot of concerns lately. Young men are staying single longer. They're not having as many children. They're not getting into relationships. I think I saw a statistic that like maybe even the majority of guys had never approached a woman. This is not something people are going to have to worry about anymore once the Switch 2 drops.
A majority, you say? That's a lot.
And maybe it was like, I don't know,
crazy.
maybe it was like, I have no idea what
plurality.
it was. I saw an article and I looked at the headline and I didn't really care, but it seems somewhat relevant for this, so I brought it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. So we've outlined the steps to getting a girlfriend with a Switch 2, and step 1 is to buy a Switch 2.
Yeah, that's the biggest hurdle. The first thing you're going to want to do if you want a girlfriend and you don't have one, and you're somewhat interested in all things Nintendo, is you're going to want to get that pre-order on lockdown.
Exactly.
Unless you're patient. If you're patient, maybe you can wait and just get. Here's another thing.
No, you got to be on it. Girls love guys that are proactive and get the Switch 2 right when it comes out. They care.
First of all, they
look
do.
at your.
That's
true. They look
that's
at your
truth. Girls do
look
love
at your
a
gamer
man
card.
who knows how to get himself a Switch 2, and even 2. Sometimes they limit one per customer. If you have an extra Switch, you might even get yourself a second girlfriend. But I think there's another thing that women appreciate, and it's restraint. Being composed. And if you look inside and realize, I want a girlfriend, but am I really ready for one? Do I really want a girlfriend right now? And if the answer is no, you could postpone getting your Switch 2.
Okay, yeah, you're right, because getting a Switch 2 means that you will also...
Adding this as a disclaimer, because the last thing you want to do is run out there and get a Switch 2 if you're not ready for a relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where
so you got to be careful.
But you also need to be careful not to play it too much because they hate that. So it's like 2 hours a day maximum with your new Switch 2.
Luckily,
and then you have to go.
This could lead to another topic. Actually, do you remember when the Switch came out? There was the parental controls app.
Yeah, of course.
Perhaps a girlfriend controls app.
Oh, I like the way you're thinking.
This way, it kind of mitigates, like, you don't have to, like, she can see that you're over time and she can choose to suspend your gameplay, but, that might actually add a whole nother level of spice to some relationships.
I mean, I agree. I think that's a fantastic
relinquishing
idea.
A little bit of control. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or you could just use parental controls and just be like, mommy is controlling the Switch or something. I don't know.
So a lot of people also, I think, might be confused by what we're talking about here, and that's that the Switch 2 will get you a girlfriend. How exactly? Right?
It's tough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the actual acquiring of the girlfriend part requires you to not be on the Switch. You need to go outside and you need to touch grass in order for this to work.
You see, I actually disagree.
Yeah?
I mean, there's something obviously innately appealing about a man playing Switch in the grass while touching it, sitting in the grass playing Switch.
Oh, you're right. It is portable. We can touch grass and play Switch 2 at the same time. It's really
appealing. Something about playing the Switch in public is just...
they got it all put together.
Well, it's just... What's the word for it? Aphrodisiac. It's, it's like a lure. It's sexy, some might say.
It turns you into a sexual tyrannosaur, as they say.
Yeah, I think that's it. Here's another thing. We don't know what the C button's for. Right?
Oh shit. The C stands for clitoris? Is that where we're going with this? What the fuck are we talking about?
I was trying to figure it out, actually. I think you might have hit the nail on the head there.
Damn.
If you're lonely, you get your ass a Switch 2. and get it as soon as physically.
Well, it is
possible.
coming out with the Mac Daddy of girlfriend games. That is Mario Kart 9 or 10, whatever they decide to call it.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Many a girlfriend has sat down to play video games with their partner, and one of the least objectionable games is always going to be Mario Kart.
And the fact that the new one's going to be 24 players means you can have 23 girlfriends.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
I wonder
Assuming
if
we
you
don't
can
have like a
split-
double dash type scenario in which you could even have like upwards of 47 girlfriends.
Oh my god.
I know.
Dude, that would be insane.
Yeah.
Imagine, I mean, TVs are big enough now. A little 47 split screen action, 48 way, little on a big flat screen.
And you know, like it's all fun and games for us to talk about this over here on in the West, but there's a different crisis going on in the East.
Oh yeah.
Japan has had declining birth rates for a long time right now, and don't
Well, I
think
think-
that didn't play a role in the Switch 2 strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole reason they're making the Switch 2 is to curb Japan's declining birth rates,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's come on, Miyamoto was that was exactly what was in his head when he hand chiseled out of Nintendium the first Switch 2.
And Nintendo, you know, sadly that Nintendium is kind of retired, isn't it?
No. They just
brought it
didn't use
back?
it for the Joy-Cons. They let somebody else design the Joy-Cons.
Oh,
The
so the
Switch
Joy-Cons aren't
itself-
Nintendium.
The Joy-Cons were not Nintendium.
I will
Those
say they
were,
charge Nintendium prices for the Joy-Cons though,
mm,
which is
yeah.
kind of a
It did-
problem. Do we
The
think
Pro
that the
Controller-
Joy-Con will be more expensive this gen? They're a little bit bigger, seem a little more capable.
I'm gonna bump it up $10.
$10.
Yeah. What is it now? 70? It's gonna be 80.
I think it's 80 now.
Oh, okay. Well, it's gonna be 90.
Ugh. Can you imagine spending
Yeah.
$100 on these? Because at that point, why not just charge 100?
Well, I never bought another pair of Joy-Cons. Mine are still stock. So,
No drift?
well, I don't use them, so I don't care.
I don't use them. Yeah, I've gone through several pairs. Yeah.
You know what game I used them for? It was like the only. Well, I guess the Mario Party games make you use them. Just Superstars lets you use the controller. But so that and the World Ends with You remake that makes you use the Joy-Cons.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's kind
Why
of
would they
something
do
that
that?
probably should have stayed on the DS, maybe.
yeah. The DS version's better.
Yeah.
Have you played these games?
No, The World Ends with You, though. It's like one of those games when I was like getting into video gaming, everyone was like, oh, you got to play The World Ends with You.
I have an unpopular opinion. With
Oh.
the World Ends with You. I played it for the first time when I was 13. It was the first game I played like all the way through with my R4 card. That when I got that,
Well, you're
And
like
I loved it.
prime age for it, too.
I loved it. It was like the best. It blew my mind. It opened me up to whole new worlds
Okay, so you liked it
of
originally.
of gamedom. I still kind of like it, but I think people SSD way too much.
Oh, okay.
I think it's as good as like The Lightning Thief. I think it's a decent YA novel. I think it really hits the right spot when you're like an edgy teenager. But revisiting it with an adult brain, it kind of doesn't hit anywhere near the same spots for me. And I think it's kind of needlessly cynical sometimes, and it's, you know, the whole aesthetic isn't as mind-blowing to me anymore. And just, I don't know. I see these games and I feel like the Persona games, which I had not played when I played The World Ends with You, I feel like they go for the same thing and do it 1,000,000 times better.
Yeah. Well, where would you say that The World Ends with You stacks up against something like The Bouncer?
Against the Bouncer? I mean, it's probably better than the Bouncer.
But really think about this. You said, you know, The Bouncer, potentially coming back to that as an adult, you might have a much more favorable opinion of it.
Dude, I don't know. I've never played the Bouncer.
Oh,
I've only
okay.
seen Jonas play the Bouncer.
Yeah, it's just they came out somewhere around the same time. Well, maybe The World Ends with You is a little late. What was it? 2004?
No, the Bouncer is like 2000, isn't it? It was like way before.
I thought The Bouncer was like 2002.
Yeah, but The World Ends with You was a DS game. So that was like 07, 08.
I'll look it up.
It was later. It's good. If you're a teenager, play The World Ends With You. It's good. If you're an adult, I don't know, maybe it hits the same way for
North
you.
America, March 6, 2001, but you're right, December 23rd, 2000. Crazy.
Yeah. It didn't hit nearly the same way as an adult. Like, in the same way reading, like, a YA novel wouldn't if you were to do it now.
That's kind of tragic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a game about, like, angsty teenagers. And, you know, that's who it hits home for. So.
Well, if you wanted to play The World Ends With You and you want a girlfriend...
That is not a game that'll get you a girlfriend. The World Ends With You is repellent. They will stay away.
I think it's just, you know, you need to find I have no more advice, I don't think, actually.
No?
Yeah.
Well, I think just, you know, get a Switch 2, find a girl, invite to play Mario Party a few times, or Mario Party, Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Just do that a few times and then she's your girlfriend.
That's really solid advice. Appreciate that, Jason.